Okay, it's me, Sam Scannell, and yes, I disappeared for a month, but I'm engaged. So let me start off this video by saying I don't think I've ever been happier in my entire life. I have met my best friend in the entire world. We're going to spend our lives together. It's going to be amazing. We're planning it. It's awesome. But I think I've been chickening out with these videos because I don't want to come across negative. I don't know how to approach some of this really emotional, I don't want to say sad, but stuff that surrounds it, that is kind of in the background. You don't expect to be getting married and have to worry about having Huntington's disease or having it affect any part of your ceremony, and it's really scary. And you, you know, you, it's hard to, it's hard for people that don't know what you're going through to understand what you're going through. You don't want people to think that you're being dramatic or overreacting, but it's scary thinking about the future and wondering what's going to happen, and knowing that I'm going to need full-time care at some point. And it's also a little bit sad, and because my father, who is everything to me, he's here and he's good, but he's been symptomatic for about 10 years. And I just know that this isn't the way I necessarily pictured my wedding. And that doesn't mean I'm not so grateful that I'm getting married. It just means that there's so many other emotions I didn't expect to feel that I had to take some time to process them. But I didn't want to chicken out. I didn't want to give up on this channel, because I was a little bit scared to say things that might not always be easy to hear. But this video is actually going to be about why I decided to get tested. So in 2014, I decided that I was ready to get tested for Huntington's disease. In 2011, I found out that my father had Huntington's. And for those of you who don't know, Huntington's disease is you have a 50-50 chance of getting it. You inherit it from one parent or the other. Unless unfortunately there's two, whatever, I'm not going to get it confusing. It's you get it from one parent or the other. And it is kind of like I've said before, a flip of the coin. You don't know whether or not you're going to get it. There's no, a girl's going to get it more than a boy, or if one sibling has it, the other sibling's not going to have it. It's all kind of up in the air. So for me, I found out that my father had it in, I already said, 2011. I really was so devastated. I mean, devastated is not the word. You do not expect stuff like that is going to happen to you. My mom had cancer. She's a breast cancer survivor in my freshman year of college, and I thought that was the worst thing, and it was. But my father, this happening with my father, and knowing that there's no cure, that it's this debilitating disease that's just going to get worse, was terrifying to hear. And I think it took us all a really long time to process it. I decided that I wanted to get tested because I knew that I wanted to be able to plan my life accordingly. I wanted to have the answers and have the tools and know what I was getting into. I know that I would spend my entire life wondering if I did, and any slight movement that I had, I would be like, oh my God, I would be paranoid. I mean, I am extremely anxious person. Anybody that knows me, that's funny. I'm an extremely anxious person as it is. And so I want to know what's going on. I'm going to obsess over it anyway, but I wanted to kind of have control over it, something that you can't control. So in 2014, I got tested. I got tested in Pittsburgh. It was a little bit different than getting tested in New York, but I know New York is a 4-part process if you are interested in getting tested for HD in New York. I know for me, I went into to Pittsburgh, and they sat me down, and I did counseling and there was a lot of talking and stuff to kind of see if you're in the right mindset or headplace to get tested. It's a very, very terrifying thing. It's not something that you should go into lightly, but it's something that I spent years and years and years thinking about. I mean, years. And I knew that I wanted to have a family, and I didn't want to give up on my life. And I knew that but I also knew I did not want to pass this disease on to my children. So that was my number one thing. I knew I always wanted to be a mom. You know, I wanted a career. Listen, I'm all for being a woman and being strong and being independent, but I always, always, always wanted to be a mom. And so for me, I had to figure out a way to do it safely. You know, I love my parents more than anything. There's no resentment, there's no anger. I'm happy that I was born. But if there's something that I could do for my children in the future so they don't have Huntington's, which is a whole other video, I wanted to have the tools. So I decided to get tested. I waited about a month, which was kind of the longest month of my life, I think, but also I have to say I knew I had it. There's no reason why I knew. I just had a gut feeling from the moment my dad told us about it. And so when I found out that I had it, it was kind of just like accepting something that I already felt in myself. What I did with that information was I had to kind of rebuild my scope of my life and figure out how do you live with something that's inevitably going to strip you of who you are and all of that crazy stuff. But for me, I think some of the most important things that I've learned from getting tested, without being too long-winded, is just you, like, whatever you decide, you have control. Whatever you decide, there are certain things that you can control and that you can be positive over. This is not a funny disease. I laugh, I have fun, and I make the best of it. I inherited that from my parents. Mike makes me laugh. My sister, all of my friends make me laugh. It's just a part of who I am. But it's also very, very, very scary. But when you take control over that small thing, for me, I felt like now I know what I'm getting into. That's why I got tested. I wanted to go into a relationship with someone. I wanted to meet someone who understood what they were getting into and knew that this was going to be something that could affect them. And also, since I work in home health care, I have experience working with people that, have, I don't want to say special needs, but have needs and are taken care of in their homes and stuff. So I feel like I have a little bit of an understanding into that. Um, yeah, I don't know if this stayed on topic, but pretty much I got tested because I wanted to plan ahead. I wanted to know what was coming, and I wanted to be fair to my partner. I just knew that I never believed there would be someone that would love me and know about this disease and still stick around. Mike is a miracle. He knows everything. He came with me into the city to Colombia. He is super active in it, and he is totally 100% like I'm not even gonna cry. He's a miracle. And so I just think that what we can take from this is, no matter what you're going through, I mean, I'm not the only one that has, I don't want to say this illness, but I'm not the only one that's going through something medically, emotionally. We all go through stuff. And that's why I just had to be brave enough to put this out there and kind of just like bite the bullet, because it might seem like I'm very like putting my life out there, but this is really scary to do. And, it is what it is. But last month was Huntington's Awareness Month, and I didn't really say anything. So for this, I'll just say it's been a really exciting, it's been an exciting ride. Only been engaged for a month. And I just came back from the CDO Summit. It was my third CDO Summit with Dave Matheson. He is one of my dad's friends. He's super, super, he shared one of my videos. He is pretty incredible. He created this company. I'll get into another time, but he's really awesome. So special shout out to him and Michelle, and special shout out to all of my friends. And but this one's really for Mike. Thank you for loving me and sticking around. And yeah, all right. Have a good week. All right, bye everyone.